Hi everybody. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. The sun is setting.
Yeah.
And I'm here in Ansan. I'm supposed to be in Hewa, but actually God decided that we were going to be in Ansan this afternoon. And so we're going to do our video.
Yes.
We're going to continue on with this subject that we've been talking about of discipline, raising kids,
Parents, yeah.
parenting. And I had been thinking, can talk about the different types of discipline. You know, spanking a child, giving them a timeout, taking away something that they want, confiscating their phone or something like that. Mm-hmm. But, that's really hard to do, especially those of you who are far away.
Yeah, disciplining your child when you're far, it's complicated.
That's something that the person who is raising them actually has to do.
Yeah.
You can talk to them, you can give them ideas and say, when my child disobeys, do what is the right thing, you trust them to discipline them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you need them to communicate with you and let you know what's going on, if they've gotten into trouble, if they've done the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But the best thing, the most important thing of any parent, if you're living right next to your child, it's extremely important. If you're there taking care of them every day. Or if you're miles and miles away in another country. This is even more important. This certain tip, and that is being an example for them by the way you live your life.
Yeah.
The kind of standards that you live by. If you find yourself doing something wrong, do you correct yourself?
Yeah.
Do you realize that was wrong? Do you realize, no, I can't do that because this is going against the rules? So if you want to discipline anyone, how can you discipline them if they don't even know what the rules are?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Kids need to know, okay, this is right, this is wrong. In this house, we do not lie, right?
Yeah.
So that means everybody in the house.
They cannot lie. Everybody has to tell the truth. But if the parent,
Mm-hmm.
the mother or the father is not doing that,
Yeah.
and they're failing, and then, consequently, everybody else in the house is going to just, if they're doing it, then that means that it's okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the mother cannot just come in and say, no, but you can't do that.
Right.
And it just becomes
confusing.
Like, what do you mean? You're lying, but I cannot lie.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going on here? What are these standards,
Yes. You're telling your kids, you're giving your kids mixed messages. Don't lie. But then when the neighbor comes to visit your house and they said, oh, did you do this or have you done that? Oh, yes, I did. Oh, and I loved it. Oh, it was so wonderful. And your children are watching you saying,
I know that's not true.
You never did that. What are you talking about? So, what are you teaching your kids?
Yeah.
That lying is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they lose respect for you. And that's one of the worst things for a child, is to lose respect for you. Because you, as a mother, you are in a certain position that God has put you. You are the authority over them. And as we said before, the way they treat you is the way they're going to treat God. So you're teaching your children not to respect you. You are also teaching your children not to respect God.
Yeah, because if they cannot respect someone they see, imagine to respect someone they do not see, because we cannot see God. But, it all starts with the parents. They start establishing that respect in the house. But if the parents are failing in establishing this respect, then when they grow up, that's when, usually there's that complaint, oh, my teenager, he's so rebellious, he doesn't respect me, he doesn't listen to me. But then you have to think back, what kind of standards did you have in the house?
Right.
Yeah.
Your standards. And that's really, really important. Where do our standards have to come from?
Yeah.
Where do we set our standards? Are standards just something you can choose? Like you decide that, in our house we will always wear green. And I'm going to punish you if you don't wear green. Well, that would be ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. You're just choosing something random. But there are standards that have existed from before we were born, from the beginning of the world, from the foundations of this universe. There are certain standards that are in our DNA that we know is right and is wrong. And they come from the Word of God. And this is how we become a good parent, that every standard follows the Word of God. And if we go away from that, we're going into really dangerous territory. We're actually allowing evil to enter into our family. And that is dangerous. Some of these standards, though, we think, okay, what are certain basic standards that we know are right and wrong for a child? Like lying is one of them.
Lying, talking back to your elder, whenever it's a parent or anybody, an adult. Cheating, stealing, and this is the basic ones, just to start teaching a child, don't steal. If you see that in my wallet, don't take it. Ask me. Don't talk back.
Yes, be respectful.
Be respectful. But those are standards that you don't see now.
Yes, and you know why? It's because we always think of these standards as like the outward behavior.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. Parents will maybe discipline their children because their outward behavior was bad. So stop acting this way, stop behaving this way, don't look at me that way, don't talk to me that way. How could you steal? You know that's bad. But parents aren't dealing with the beginnings of the problem.
Yeah.
The beginnings begin inside the child first. And then later it comes out in their behavior. And the reason is, many times, the negative things that are inside that child, they're already inside the parent too.